Hey, this is Paul Evans, Zero Offers. Everybody knows the game. Your free online business coach. We're going to dive into a topic that has been popular for years, and that is determining the difference with authority, whether it's being manufactured or whether it's mastery. And I'm going to define these three elements when we get to them on the mastery side fairly deep. I mean, without excuse, that if we're going to make this claim, we've got to get beyond the internet marketing definition, beyond the general wannabe definition, and really dive into it deep. But first of all, let's talk about the manufactured authority. This has been around for a long time. I thought it would have died out by now, but it's still out there. Basically the seen on CNN, seen on X, Y, and Z. And basically it's a process in which you hire a company to do some sort of press release, and you get your name out on the newswire, and it gets picked up by NBC or someplace like that, and then you, as seen on NBC. Well, you weren't actually on NBC, right? It was just a mention somewhere, somehow. CNN, this was real popular for a while. CNN had iReporter, and you could go out and report on anything and upload it to CNN and say, as seen on CNN, because you had a video on CNN. Well, the truth is, nobody saw it. Sure, it was on there somewhere, but nobody was actually watching that video. And so then for us to have the audacity of authority to say, hey, I've been on CNN, I've been on NBC, there should be footage of you there with other human beings being interviewed for that to even count, right? I think we know that, but there is the marketing element of wanting to elevate ourselves beyond the crowd, that we feel like that's one little step that we can take and really appear different and appear that we've got this we hope we got authority. It's really pseudo authority. The other big thing, and it's still out there, and I remember when this first became popular, because I was like, wow, is that really possible? And that's the Amazon bestseller. And by now, you know the trick. And the trick is, I'm going to find a very remote niche on Amazon, and I'm going to make that one of my categories for my book. I'm then going to put my book out there, and I'll hit Facebook, I'll hit an email list. And to rank as a bestseller in a niche or a category that nobody's looking at anyway, it's not even hard. And again, to have the audacity of authority to say, I am a bestseller on Amazon. Now, there are some legit people doing that. But, to try to play the system, that's manipulation. That's manufactured authority. But don't think that it just happens at that level. You can actually manufacture authority at the New York Times bestseller list, USA Today bestsellers list, because there are groups out there who teach and then apply the principles to get you to bestseller status, because what they're looking at is a certain number of dates where best-selling status is most possible, and then they've got a book count that they go out and buy to buy you that status. I think the ability to do this starts maybe somewhere around $250,000, but people who are doing it feel like, well, I can always say I was a New York Times bestseller. But the truth was, you weren't. It was a manufactured deal. There weren't, like if you sold 1 million copies, there weren't 1 million people that bought the copies. Somebody else bought the copies. Well, that wouldn't work out to 250,000, would it? Whatever that number is, 25,000 copies. It didn't happen. It was all internal. See, it doesn't count. It's all manufactured. So mastery, on the other hand, is when you become an expert, a thought leader, or an icon. So what does that really mean? An expert, again, the whole manufacturer side teaches, if you'll read 5 books, you know more than 75% of the people on the planet about that topic. Great. All right. But you're not an expert. You're not an expert. I probably know more than 90% of the people on the planet about training and nutrition, even if I don't do it myself. But I'm an expert in training and nutrition? I'm not. I'm not an expert in it. I know a lot about it. I probably have some ideas and some concepts, but I'm not an expert in that arena. So what we've got to be thinking about, and what we often think about first, is we'll say, I know more than 90% of the people. Okay. Or we'll say there's a scale of 1 to 10. I'm a level 6, so I'm an expert to everybody at 1 through 5. Fine. I don't think that's accurate. I think, do I know as much as, instead of I know more than, do I know as much as the top 10% in the field? If I was invited on a talk show with a legitimate expert, could I hold my own? Now, I'm not saying you've got to be 100%. You got to know everything on the planet. But like if I say, I know more than 90% of the population about nutrition and about training, fitness, and they were to have somebody on, I don't know who's even popular right now, but let's say, back with The Biggest Loser, that crowd got on television talking about training and weight loss. I wouldn't step in that arena. I wouldn't step in there and say, hey, excuse me, I want to let you know, I've got a best-selling Amazon book. I'm an expert as well. Let me dip in. We wouldn't do that. It's crazy. That didn't make any sense. A true expert is, do I know as much as, and I'm willing to step into that arena? That's the critical key. The next level is the thought leader. This is super popular. I mean, I'm just stunned that people actually put, no offense if you've done this. I'm not picking on anybody in particular. But if you've got like thought leader in your bio or as part of, somebody says, what do you do? I'm a thought leader. What's that even mean? I think it means this. Now, let's see, I think I had to write this down. You're delivering a lot of personal IP, a lot of personal intellectual property. I mean, you've created it. And there's at least a large amount of people within your niche and industry who are anxious to hear your thoughts. You're not a thought leader if you think, I've thought of something somebody else hadn't thought about. You're a thought leader is if you set the direction on a thought, there's a large group of people who are waiting on the edge of their seat for you to share that direction, and then they go back and they think on it and apply it. And that may even still be a low-level definition of thought leadership. Then the final level is like the icon. The icon, okay, and also the thought leader, they're like the top 1%. They're the top 1% in their field. They're not like, I had a great thought, even though I'm way down here in the nether regions as far as being known or even thought about. Now, the icon level, it's not only are they in the top 1%, but the top 1% globally come to them. They don't have to go out. The globe comes to them. The top 1% of the globe comes to them and asks about their opinion, their thought, their advice, their direction. What are they seeing? All of these things. So even the thought leader is going this direction, even though they've got a crowd with them. But the icon, it's coming to them. The heads of state contacting the icon. Some deeper level definitions of an expert, a thought leader, and an icon. And even me saying that doesn't make me an expert, a thought leader, an icon. It's just a concept. But it is a little bit exhausting, the number of people who are out there trying to seek validation through manipulation and manufacturing of authority. Let's just use a little common sense. Hey, zero offers. Everybody knows the game. Success is not an accident. Be blessed.